tonight. The budget speech took place in Victoria today, which includes new spending measures. Plus, an athlete with an inspiring story of a life-changing injury was a guest speaker today for local elementary school kids. And the T-Wolves men's basketball team is moving on in the Canada West playoffs after pulling off a stunning upset. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Hughand, and welcome to CKPG News. We begin tonight in provincial politics. It's been quite a busy time in Victoria of late, and today the 2024 British Columbia budget was presented to the legislature, and it includes new spending measures designed to ease the high cost of living while significantly boosting the province's deficit. Adam Burles has the story.
The provincial budget for 2024 was announced by Finance Minister Katrine Conroy in the legislature on Thursday, and Conroy said that the 2024 budget will bring opportunities for all British Columbians.
It's a budget that brings more opportunities within reach for hardworking people. Because whether you live in a city, a town, a rural or First Nations community, many of us share a common hope for our future and that of our children and grandchildren.
However, the projected deficit for the 2024-2025 fiscal year will be $7.9 billion, a 34% increase from last year and the highest in the province's history. So, with the deficit increasing, what will the money be spent on? Well, the biggest share will be going to healthcare, with $6 billion being allocated.
We are expanding home and community care services for more seniors so they can live healthy, independent lives in their homes. New or upgraded long-term care homes are on the way for communities around BC, including Abbotsford, Nanaimo, Cranbrook, and Prince George.
$270 million will be allocated for cancer spending, and British Columbians can expect a one-time $100 rebate on bills for Hydro or Fortis this year. After Minister Conroy delivered her budget, Shadow Minister of Finance Peter Millibard took direct aim at the spending.
The Economic Forecast Council has advised government on what they see growth to be, and that helps form the basis of a lot of assumptions and risks within the budget. Significant when you're talking a budget that is now spending $89 billion. And when this government took office, it was 75% lower at $54 billion. So a 0.1 difference is a massive difference to the books.
Some other key items in the budget include $405 million towards bolstering BC's capacity to prepare and respond for climate emergencies, and $21 million towards a new Prince George Wildfire Equipment Depot. Adam Burles, CKPG News.
And political correspondent Adam Burles joins us in studio now to follow up on the big news today, the budget being put forward. So, Adam, you mentioned just towards the end there some of the other key items that were in the budget. Is there anything else you want to mention that was discussed?
Right. There was a lot of stuff in the budget that I couldn't mention in that what we just saw. There's obviously a lot. You got to cover a whole year's worth of items. One thing that was interesting, we mentioned about this in previous shows. Housing was going to be a big issue. Housing was noted in the budget today, particularly the BC home flipping tax. So the BC home flipping tax is essentially, it will allow this tax effective January 1st, 2025, and this will be a tax made on the profit from somebody that sells a residential property within 2 years of buying it, so essentially flipping homes, as you would see on HGTV or something to that effect. So they're going to make, they're going to penalize people for not actually staying in the home. When you're just, instead of just buying a house, flipping it, and turning around and just selling it immediately, they're going to make sure that somebody actually stays in the home for a certain amount of time so that there's bodies in those homes, they're getting use out of the home, not just selling it instantly on the market. So that's kind of an interesting one in terms of housing. That
is interesting. I wonder, does it apply to if you buy a home and then tear it down immediately, or?
No details on that yet.
Okay.
Again, I'll go lead into this with my next point.
Right.
Revenue from the tax, essentially, there's no real concrete details yet of whether that's going to apply to what you just mentioned, but there will be specific exemptions to this tax, life circumstances such as divorce, death, illness, that sort of thing. So there's some initial exceptions, so we'll see how that gets played out as the legislative session rolls on.
Okay, interesting. Now, shifting gears here, the deficit set a record. What do the opposition members have to say about that?
Opposition, like I mentioned yesterday, they came out swinging. Kevin Falkland called it the most reckless budget he's ever seen, which is a lot, saying given Kevin Falkland's political history. But again, it's also politics too. This is an election budget.
Right.
Opposition leaders were not going to be happy with this budget regardless. John Rustad released a press statement today saying this is not John Horgan's BC NDP, indicating a shift in the finance department. But you know, one thing that was made clear from both Conservative Party and the BC United Party is that it's just too much spending. Record deficit, record debt too. $123 billion for debt, that's a lot. $89 billion in spending. BC is going to be making about 81 to 80 million in revenue, so of course that's what leads to the deficit. So BC United and BC Conservatives laying out their platform early, saying that if they're elected, they're going to control spending.
Now, turning to one specific source of spending, healthcare. How much is going to be spent on the current healthcare crisis that the province is facing?
Right. So the majority of that funding of the budget will be going towards healthcare. $6 billion. That's about a third. It's a lot of money, but it's still nowhere near enough to help the situation in the province.
All right, Adam Burrows, thank you very much for your insights, as always. Lake Babine Nation and the Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations have signed a funding agreement totaling $50 million to support the First Nation in building self-governance. The foundation agreement also contains commitments from BC to support the first implementation phase. This involves transferring 20,000 hectares of provincial Crown land, forestry tenures, and approximately $43 million in funding contributions. This funding will also support governance capacity by hiring specialized employees to build land capacity, manage spending, develop a justice strategy for the First Nation, and oversee the nation's strategic initiatives.
Step is an interim measure that allows a transfer of funds, but also allows the community to take more control over, culture or space, and eventually lead towards self-determination within the community, but within also Canada.
It hasn't always been a smooth path, and I think we have seen progress over the past number of years, but I really hope that we'll see that accelerate into the future, because there's a lot of work left to do. These are, as we heard from the speakers this evening, this is a step forward, but it's not the last step.
This is, I feel, as part of the reconciliation that the federal government are pursuing and are on track for. I know they have a big job ahead of them with over 600 nations across Canada, and I feel they're doing what they can to accommodate all 600. But what separates us from some of those nations is the foundation agreement, which is a modern-day agreement signed on by Canada, BC, and Lake Babine, a tripartite agreement where nothing is set in stones, but milestones working towards independence.
A little bit of local crime news now. Prince George RCMP made what will most likely be one of the easiest arrests of the year. Get this. Police arrested a man found sleeping on the couch of a home he allegedly broke into on the 3500 block of Rosea Road at around 5:30 a.m. on Sunday. 3 hours earlier, RCMP believed the same man threw a rock through the window of a home on North Nechako Road, walked into a home on Riverview Road, where he asked the owner to call 911 and attempted to break into another home on Rosea Road. He was certainly busy. He was later released on a future court date, and he is known to police. RCMP are asking for your help in locating 30-year-old Dylan Wade Horry. Horry was last seen near the 1700 block of Edmonton Street back on February 21st. He's described as 5'11", 181 pounds with hazel eyes and brown hair. He also has some tattoos on both of his arms. He was last seen wearing a gray and black hoodie, a camouflage sweater, black track pants, and only one boot. He had a bag on his other foot. He's known to frequent Moccasin Flats. If you have any information, please call RCMP. With the Para-Nordic World Cup finals coming in March, today one para-athlete shared his inspiring story with local students of his journey to the Paralympics following a life-changing spinal injury. Tommy Osborne brings us the story.
That front flip in 2004 forever changed the life of Josh Dueck, a freestyle skier at the time aspiring to be among the sport's best. Leaving him paralyzed from the waist down, Dueck's worst-case scenario came true, but that didn't stop him from continuing to pursue his dreams.
I had ambitions of being like the great Scott Bellavance or Chris Wong or Jay Nakbar, who are all Prince George alumni, and I strive to be, competitive with those guys. And, life changed in an instant for me, and I just, rather than wallow in self-pity, I just quickly moved forward the best that I could with the tools that I had at that point in time, and sport was the conduit for me to get back on my feet and resume life as the the best that I could.
Shifting his focus to the Paralympics, Duick spent the next 5 years learning downhill skiing in a sit-ski.
Everything that I've learned in sport carries over quite nicely into life, and then life is the real show. Life is the real challenge. Like, the things that I faced in sport were for sure large, but we all face life, and life is a beautiful mess. And if we learn how to embrace these things rather than skirt away from them, then I think we have a great opportunity to be better ourselves, but also be better in our families and our communities.
His story is one of resilience and perseverance in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, and his hard work paid off on the biggest stage possible when he earned the gold medal in the 2010 Vancouver Paralympics, which is just one of many accolades under his belt. He also became the first sit-skier to do this.
Sport has taught me resiliency, perseverance, embracing challenges, embracing failure. There are infinite challenges to this position that I'm in, and there's infinite challenges that we all face. And so it's a paradigm shift. Like, how can we embrace these challenges and use them as stepping stones?
His message resonated with students who left the auditorium understanding the value of staying strong even in the darkest of days. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
It's the 40th annual Freedom to Read Week across the country, and the Prince George Public Library is taking part by showcasing banned books. With a display highlighting some more prominent banned books and a brief explanation on why they've been banned, the library hopes this serves as a reminder on the importance of creating an environment where you can explore a wide range of perspectives without censorship. Some banned books may come as a bit of a surprise. They include well-known and celebrated classics like War and Peace, To Kill a Mockingbird, or even most recently, the Harry Potter series. All books displayed are part of the library's collection, and it says giving readers access to all information is incredibly important.
Our core mandate is to celebrate diversity, equity, inclusion, and tolerance, and we support these values by giving our patrons as wide as possible a variety of information that may sometimes challenge our understanding of the world. So when we have books that are banned, this prevents that information being made available to the public.
Public libraries have core responsibilities to provide equitable access to the widest possible variety of literature. And it's really up to the patrons to decide what they choose to read or not read.
If you're looking for something exciting to spice up your next outdoor adventure, look only as far as the second annual Northern RV and Outdoor Expo that takes place this weekend at the CN Center. Dave Branco has more now on what you can expect to see.
Whether you're a seasoned RV veteran or a newcomer to the world of recreational vehicles, somewhere in the massive floor space of the CN Center, there may be something that will catch your eye.
We really want to stay to the theme of the event, the Outdoor Expo. So we got a lot of vendors who are, focused on the outdoors. So ourselves, of course, the S&P RV. We got lots of different trailers. We got almost 30 trailers here for the weekend. Then we got our friends at Prince George Motorsports. They got some ATVs and side-by-sides. They got a pontoon boat.
This year, the organizers grew the event by inviting more vendors.
We added in Cap It. They're bringing in like their off-road stuff, tents, things like that. They got the rooftop tents. Also, we brought in Prince George Tourism this year.
There's an opportunity to talk directly to manufacturer representatives, and also new this year is a booth where people can speak to technicians about their RV.
It's called Tech Talk. So we have brought some of our RV techs upstairs. There's an RV going to be there and stuff, and they're going to be there if you want to ask questions about winterizing, things like that. Any question you have about if you're changing your own tongue jack or things like that. Those guys can answer those questions.
The second annual Northern RV and Outdoor Expo runs from Friday until Sunday. There's a $2 entry fee that goes to the Prince George High School Football Association. Dave Branco, CKPG News.
It's time for a break, but when we return, walk-in wait times for clinics are at an all-time high. As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was at $1.41.9 per litre at Costco. That also is the lowest price in the province currently. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country right now at $1.24.7 per litre, while BC has an average price of $1.68.2 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Well, the UNBC Timberwolves men's basketball team went into the Canada West playoffs last night as the heavy underdogs, the 12th seed, going up against the 5th-seeded UBC Thunderbirds, who are also nationally ranked. With a single elimination format, UNBC needed a win to advance and keep their season alive. It was a tall task, but as they say in sports, anything can happen, especially in the playoffs. Caitlin Pobersnick has the game details.
Games like Wednesday night don't come around too often for UNBC men's basketball team. With the final 86-76 score etched in stone, the Timberwolves move on through the first round of Canada West playoffs. This is one of the biggest wins in program history, and not because they made it past the first round, but because they sat on the 12th seed coming into the tournament and had to face off against nationally ranked UBC.
I mean, we saw those guys, play like seniors tonight, right? And Darren came in too, one of our veteran guys, and made a big contribution late that allowed us to kind of hold our lead. And it's great. I'm really happy. It's a great group of guys, and we get to play another night. So excited about that.
It's a culmination of all the work, As a team, we've been putting in a lot of work this year, but it goes farther back than this, right? For some of the older guys, it's been 5 years in the making, trying to get a playoff win like this. I've never had a playoff win at UNBC, so this is kind of that, and it's good, but it means something. But it means something down the line. We got to stay focused.
The fundamentals were really what kept UNBC in the game, not overcomplicating things, and it wasn't an individual effort by any means, with 6 players hitting that double-digit mark, coming through for the team when it matters most.
We trusted our guys, right? They were taking certain things away, and we were able to find the easy stuff.
Our guys really executed the game plan. We wanted to get them stopped in transition. I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part of getting them stopped in the open court, and then executed enough to score enough points. So it was a big win for us, obviously.
It's a key to our team. It's been a key to our team for a long time. We got to stay solid emotionally down the stretch. And basketball's a game of runs. They're going to make their runs. We're going to make ours. We just got to make theirs shorter than ours. So it was real big.
Similar to Ross, Ledoux experienced his first big playoff moment with the program, which is hopefully a feeling that will carry through the rest of the tournament.
6 years here. It's my first one, so it's a huge win. We're all very excited about it. A lot of emotion, a lot of guys happy, a lot of guys dancing in that locker room.
UNBC moves on to play the host team Manitoba tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Caitlin Pobersnick, CKPG News.
The TSX is up 146 points to close at 21,318. The Dow Jones is up 457 points to close at 39,069. And Artemis Gold went down 9 cents to close at $6.95.
Good evening again. We are in for a big change on the way this weekend, and it all starts tomorrow as we get into some flurries through the day and periods of snow through the later half of the day. So our satellite looking back earlier was really just kind of an uneventful, sort of calm day weather-wise across the province primarily, and for us as well, just mainly cloudy for the most part. So we are now going to see this system here. This is the frontal system here that's going to slide down, and that's going to change things up as we move forward. Futurecasts will show that tonight, cloudy skies. Tomorrow, there we go. The chance of flurries begins, and then it really picks up late into the afternoon and evening. So that's when we have periods of snow developing, carrying into Saturday and Sunday as well. Could be a snow-rain mix at times, depending on where freezing levels land. But certainly the next story after all the precipitation across the province will be the colder weather that's on the way. So we are going to move into a cooler air mass next week, and really Sunday Sunday, we kind of see the temperature drop down to freezing, and overnight is quite cold, but it is going to be a bit of a chillier trend as we move forward. 6 degrees for Fort St. John tomorrow, mild for another couple of days, as you can see. So could see some rain actually, and mainly flurries for us, but possibly some rain snow mix at times. Valemount 4 degrees, some flurries there or light snow. Down through the southern half, not quite going to see the precipitation just yet as the system is moving north to south. So they'll start to see some of that picking up over the weekend. 4 degrees in Mackenzie tomorrow. We're looking at temperatures pretty nice for this time of the year across the board again, but very unsettled. Not a lot of sunshine. The sunshine does come back though as we get into early next week with the colder weather. It'll be a nice day along the west coast, and then things will change up as they're going to see some rain for the next few. 9 degrees in Edmonton, +1 Regina. Cold in Winnipeg, -9, but clear skies there and over towards the eastern half as well. Some unsettled weather. So snow or rain into our weekend is pretty much what we're anticipating. And again, it won't be too cold just yet. Sunday it cools down, but really into Monday you'll notice a change in temperatures, and we'll show you here. So Burns Lake down to -11 for daytime highs on Monday and Tuesday, and overnights are into the -20s. But tomorrow and Saturday pretty mild. Afternoon flurries as that system moves in. Clouds with some light snow on Sunday. Mackenzie will see -4 tonight, increasing clouds as the night goes on, and then we're looking at very breezy conditions through the afternoon tomorrow. Snow accumulating both Saturday, Sunday, and then it's a colder trend. So any snow that does accumulate, of course, will stick around with the colder weather coming our way. McBride mainly clear tonight. Clouds and afternoon rain tomorrow. Rain snow mix on Saturday, and still very unsettled into your Sunday. Quesnel will see lots of precipitation the next few days, and then a cool down into Monday, Tuesday. For us in Prince George, mainly cloudy actually tonight. -4 is what we're looking at, or partly cloudy for our overnight. +2 tomorrow. Possible showers, but likely flurries through the day. And then periods of snow picking up through the evening hours or later half of the day. Snow and rain on Saturday and Sunday. It cools down on Sunday and again tomorrow. Those southeast winds will be pretty gusty just as this system moves in. So could be pretty breezy out there for the most part, and then a real cool down and sunshine returning though into next week.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
The 2024 BC Winter Games kicked off today. They're out in Latako, Quesnel, with some events taking place in Barkerville due to weather conditions. The events are set to run until Sunday, and there are just under 1,500 participants, which includes coaches, players, and officials. BC Alpine Ski, Freestyle BC, and BC Snowboard all withdrew from the Winter Games, but 13 sports are still ready to go. We've got game-winning plays and comebacks continue to show continue to show sports fans why you shouldn't shut the game off early. There's always hope, even if it takes 8 lateral passes. Here's a CKP3.
Game-winning play on home court on Wednesday.
Seconds to go. Here goes Wright with 5. Wright with 3. Driving. Has it blocked. Gets it back. The shot. Good! Tyrell Ward puts it in.
The last shot is under review.
You've got the unranked LSU Tigers upsetting the number 17 Kentucky Wildcats with seconds left on the clock. And it's only appropriate to have the crowd storm the floor to celebrate.
Take it short.
How many passes does it take to get a touchdown? Apparently 8.
Time's going to expire on the game, so this either goes or it doesn't. Ball's still alive. It's got to be a backwards lateral. Get behind it. Still alive.
Duke doing a nice job staying spacing all over. Oh, he got a block.
Blockers. They got blockers. They've got a way.
Miami had one shot to get this right, and they did it with all legal lateral passes off of a kickoff. They broke through with a 75-yard touchdown to beat Duke 30-27. Are we really surprised about this last one?
You got to be aware of the inbounder here if you're Philly.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
play that really doesn't need any explanation and still gives goosebumps even 5 years later. It's only right to put it in the number 1 slot for tonight's CKP3.
Hello from the CKPG Today's side. Got a great one coming up over here, including our latest submission on the wedding proposal contest, courtesy of Kaylee. This one, the proposal I'm talking about, happened down in Victoria at Beacon Hill Park. You can hear the full story on our side of the studio coming up here in just a few minutes. And of course, we're going to get to our show content, which includes an interview with Clarence Boudreau today, who won the 2024 Service Award as part of the Gene Clark History Awards. All that, so much more coming up over here. Of course, over to you. If you were to pick a setting, actually, for your proposal, what would it be? Where are you earmarking here?
I think I'd have to pick the Today Show set with a segment with the famous Caden Fanshawe. That'd be a great way to propose. No, it wouldn't. That's all for now, folks. Thanks for joining us, as always, and we will see you tomorrow. Have yourself a great night.